We continue to get set here for Thanksgiving Day coverage between the Franklin Panthers and the King Philip Warriors. And as we get set to do so, joined by a guy who knows plenty about this matchup, going on 2 decades worth of it. It's the head coach of the King Philip Warriors, Coach Brian Lee. Coach, it's been nice to be back with you. It's been about 6 years since you and I have done this, but it doesn't feel like much has changed. It's a Thanksgiving matchup and then back to Gillette for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's good. You know, I always say my life stays the same, basically, just different kids. And, you know, we're lucky to have such good kids here. And so that's why coaching at KP is so great, because you have these kids that put in the work and are able to put you in situations to compete in big-time games.
How does this team stay on schedule this year? There was a lot of question marks, I know, for you early on this year. A lot of new faces up front, you know, new quarterback on offense. How did this team, and you've talked about fighting complacency too after getting the ring last year. How did you get this team back to this point?
Well, you know, so yeah, there were guys that needed to be replaced, but you also had other guys you could lean on. So we leaned on offense, on our running backs, and that's early on to try and make plays for us. You know, a good running back can help out a struggling offensive line, can help out a quarterback. And so that was kind of the plan early on for us. And then also defense, had a lot of returning starters on defense and playing good D here at KP. Obviously that is something we take a lot of pride in. And so very, you know, able to lean on the defense, get us going. And each week our quarterback was able to be in these games and get a little bit more, help out all the way, and became a much better player for us.
Obviously, things are a little different on Thanksgiving than they used to be with the way the schedule works, but this one means something yet again. It's you and Franklin once again for a league title. That's a really good team over there. Obviously won 7 straight to close out the regular season. Yeah. Getting ready for this game, what have you seen from them?
They're big, and you know, they have a lot of nice players. The coaching, Coach Crowley is a guy that is new to Franklin and new to this rivalry, but is somebody that I've known for a long time, and just an unbelievable job that he's done. He's been in Super Bowls before over at Halston, brought his staff over, so you got this whole staff of really good coaches that are now running that same kind of, you know, getting these kids excited about that program, and had them competitive right from the get-go. I was hoping it would take a little longer. I thought there'd be some time. All right, maybe give them a couple of years to get, but no, they're, you know, they, like you said, put 7 in a row, beat Duxbury this year, which is a huge win, and you know, it's going to be tough.
I remember you told me a few years ago that one of the biggest things when you took this job was trying to cut into that deficit because Franklin had stretched it out so much in Thanksgiving. Yeah. You know, winning 10 straight helps with that. Yeah. But now they have a chance to go win 3 of 4. You're trying to kind of get that momentum back. How much has this matchup been a part of your story at KP?
Well, I think it's an indicator of where you are. So, like, in the years when you're not making the Super Bowl, it's your last game. It's at the very least, it's a rivalry game. It is something that, you know, the kids are taking pride in. And if you win on Thanksgiving, it gives you this huge burst of energy going into the off season. Kids are excited. When can we get back in the weight room? If you lose, you know, it's a long time to wait for redemption, and there's not another game next week. It's tough. So it's important on that, and of course it's right down the road. It's you know, now and then as things started to build, has league implications and things like that, and so for the title. So it's just been it's been nice, you know, especially because I've had good relationships over the years with Coach Sidwell, Coach Bain, and like I said, I already know Coach Crowley now, so looking forward to that.
This is a situation that's obviously not going to be new to you again. Getting ready for this game, also knowing that there's something on the other side of it, you know, with the championship on the line. Yeah. There are some teams that get to Thanksgiving, they get to this situation, they bench starters, they rest, they let people kind of get through a rotation. That hasn't really been the attitude for you guys in the past. And how much has that become now a point that this is very much a tune-up that has implications in this game, but you've been able to use it as a tune-up for state title games over the years too? Well,
you know, we have been in this situation before, but unfortunately we haven't handled it well. I think it is very difficult to when you have a game up on coming up, a Super Bowl coming up, it's exciting, you know, you're playing in Gillette, to kind of temper those feelings. And at the same time, you got a short window to, you know, so before when we first played like in 16 and 17, we didn't have or maybe even 18, I can't remember, but there was not another game. We weren't playing western part of the state, central, so there was only 2 playoff games. You had a full rest, and you needed to play guys, otherwise they get too rusty. Now I feel like, oh my God, we had just played this very physical game on Friday night. We're going to be playing CM in the Super Bowl, and then let's jam a Hawk title in the game in between. So it is something to manage in terms of just being healthy, but I think you have to play. You're playing games. You only have so many games, so many opportunities in your life. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You play football when you can, for as many games as you can, for as long as you can, because it's all going to be taken away from you at some point. So to take a rep or to take a game away from kids never seemed to be on the table for us.
We can and will talk about the Super Bowl probably around noontime, Thanksgiving Day, after this one wraps up, which should be a really fun one between 2 great teams in the Hawk. Football's been part of your life, your entire life. Whether it's in Walpole growing up, whether it's here. Are there a few Thanksgiving memories? I'm sure there's thousands that have circled through your head, but are there a few that stand out when you think about what football and Thanksgiving means to you and your family?
Certainly, like I said. So it was when I was a kid playing. My uncle was from Framingham, and that was our Thanksgiving Day rival. So when we'd play at Thanksgiving, we'd play at Framingham, we'd go to his house for Thanksgiving. When we played at Walpole, they would come over there. So, just family from that perspective there. Of course, my dad was my coach, so I've shared the sideline with him for a long time on Thanksgiving Day, and those memories are special, especially when I was coaching at Walpole there too. But since being here at KP, when you get your first win on Thanksgiving, that was huge, and we lost a championship game in '09 maybe, but the place was packed. That was like old school, like the winner of the league went, and there was like 10,000 people there. It was so awesome. Still one of my favorite games, even though we didn't come out on top that day. But yeah, and then Chris Cacciola having a day. You just mentioned Ryan Halliday rushing the ball 40 times in 2019, which was our last true Thanksgiving Day win. So there's been a bunch of kids over the years that I love, and just being with my coaches and all that stuff is awesome.
Should be a very fun one. League title again on the line. Franklin KP Thursday morning here at Mac Field. Coach, great to be back with you.